Hey guys, so we are at the Hairy Pig, which is going to be our first stop of our trip here in Stockholm, Sweden. We have a plate full of tapas, including some sausages that me and my friend Diane are gonna share. And this is potato salad, olives, salmon, pate, and mousse lasagna, which I've never had mousse in my life. I think it's gonna be delicious. It's so beautifully plated, and I'm hungry and ready to eat. I need to introduce you guys to someone. She's a little bit crazy. She's more crazy than I am. I can't even keep up with her because she's popping. This is my bestie Diane, and we're on our girl trip in Stockholm. We just finished our lunch at the Hairy Pig. Every time I say that, I think it's wrong, but that's what it's called. And it was so delicious, and the service was excellent, and like super friendly, and the perfect lunch spot. You have to go. So everywhere we're walking here in Stockholm, like the views are spectacular. I just can't get over it. Like we are just in awe of, I mean, it just doesn't do it justice though. You have to come here and see it in person. It's just amazing. Whew, it is so windy here, so I don't know if you guys can hear me, but we are going to the Vasa Museum to check out this really historical ship that I don't know a whole lot of facts about, but I want to come back with you with the facts. What are the facts of the ship, Diane?
August 10th, 1628, it set sail on its maiden voyage, her maiden voyage, and sank in the Stockholm harbor. It was salvaged in 1961 after 333 years under the sea.
Dang. Not only is the Vasa Museum all about the ship, but you also get to learn about the 17th century and how people lived back then, as well as how the sailors lived. Right now I am in a little replica of what the ship looked like with the cannons in it, and as you can tell, I'm like touching the rooftop of it. The sculptures on this ship are just magnificent, and they were all in full color before, which there are some replicas downstairs showing them. It's just amazing how much work went into this. What are our first impressions of Stockholm?
Really nice.
So beautiful and clean. Extremely windy. I wasn't expecting that. It's like the next windy city. Good morning, guys. So it is day 2 in Stockholm, and we have a very eventful day planned for us. We are going on a walking tour of the old city, and we decided to have a little coffee break, which there is some neat little Swedish word for it actually, that so Swedes like to take coffee breaks. I think even during their work hours they take coffee breaks, but I need to find the word for it and put it here. But yeah, we are having our coffees and teas before our walking tour. You guys know I love to go on those. It's gorgeous outside. I couldn't ask for better weather, so I'm excited for today with my bestie. So we found out that you can tell the age of the buildings here by these crests that are on. Let me see if I can get it in. See that there? It can tell the age of when the building was built. Stockholm used to be completely wood before the 1500s, but now it is stone and brick.
So this is the smallest public sculpture here in the old town, known as Iron Boy, or Boy Looking at the Moon.
So we found the smallest statue in Stockholm, and it's called the Iron Boy, and it's one of their good luck statues. If you rub the head, you can either make a wish, or it's for fertility. So I don't know what I'm gonna wish for.
My dear friend, where have you been? Where have you gone? What did you win? Someone that...
Another thing we learned was that the houses outside of Old City would be painted a color called Falu Red, which was the color of the House of Nobility, which is located in downtown the Old City. So it was kind of like a representation of wealth. The old city in the 1500s, all of the homes and buildings were made of wood, but then there was a huge fire that happened. So then all of the buildings were now had to be made of stone and brick. In the 1500s, on the day of June 6th, is Sweden's National Day, and this is when a very important king at the time was elected. We are just chilling by the Baltic Sea, about to head over to the Open Air Museum, and we just finished our walking tour with free walking tours. Stockholm is the one with the 3 crowns, and it is one of the first walking tours, free walking tours that started here. We had Kevin as our tour guide, and he was phenomenal. You guys know I love walking tours because, I mean, these people are so smart and educated, know about the city, and can tell you where to eat, where not to go, and tips and tricks, so I highly recommend using that tour. Guys, believe it or not, I'm not having traditional Swedish food. I'm doing what the hip people do here in Stockholm, and we're having some good old bar food that you would have back from home, where I come from. Some buffalo wings and nachos. You know, sometimes you just need that grease to keep it for the day, and some beer. That's what we're doing. Just finished our lunch, and we are at a place called Misbehave Bar, so it's a pretty good location to be at, especially if you're waiting to go on the ferry to see the Open Air Museum. And I mean, on a gorgeous day like this, there's no better spot to be. Obviously, taking the ferry from where we are at the south part of the old town in Stockholm, it's going to take us about a 10-minute ride, versus if we walked, it would take an hour and 10 minutes. Stockholm is basically a whole bunch of little islands. The one that we're going to is where all the museums are.
Are you listening? Is it too late, my dear friend? We felt the sunshine, we found the gold.
The area where we're at now is where all the museums are, and it's such a gorgeous area. Just walking along the river here, you can see all the fishermen boats and just the beautiful view of all of these old historical buildings on the other side of this island. I mean, it's exactly what you would think a Nordic country would look like. I mean, it's just absolutely beautiful. And it is mid-September. Weather is perfect, light jacket, a little windy, but today is actually perfect weather. So it's definitely a very nice time to come during this time of year. So Diane asked our tour guide, she had, you know, a question that everybody is wondering: how do people afford to live here, especially students? And our tour guide is a student himself, and he was saying, you know, that student life is pretty affordable, student housing, and tourists, of course, think it's expensive because they're going out to eat, they're drinking, and doing everything that, you know, a local wouldn't be spending money on. Buying food from the local market, potatoes, onions, fruits and vegetables are of course cheap. Healthcare is cheap. Transportation is fairly cheap. So as a student, it's not so bad, you know, but of course they have to budget if they want to go out and get a beer and go out to eat.